Good evening, friends. Today I am here to present my ideas and experiences on the syllabus of UPPSC LT grade and lecturer for the subject English. Friends, for your convenience, I have done one exercise which I will be showing you. See, this is a table prepared by me, which is comparative table of LT grade versus GIC lecture English syllabus. I have used the LT grade syllabus, then lecturer syllabus, and showing back to back LT grade syllabus and lecturer syllabus. I have tried to extract the common topics from both syllabuses, and based on these common and uncommon topics, I have prepared a master syllabus. So this is very much visible to you. This master syllabus contains all the topics for the students who are preparing for both LT grade and lecturer English. So as you can see, your syllabus has several categories, and the first category is general studies. So this column represents LT grade syllabus, this column represents GIC lecturer syllabus, and these are the topics which are common between LT grade syllabus and GIC lecturer syllabus. And this column is the master syllabus. So I'll try my best to share some of the recorded lectures for boosting the speed of preparation for those who will be watching these lectures, which will be uploaded at least every day, one lecture every day. And today is the first lecture, which will be based on one of the common topic which is available in the syllabus of LT grade and GIC lecture syllabus. Even if you want this PDF, I can share in the description box. Its link will be shared in the description box. See, the very first row deals with the syllabus of general studies, which is a common subject, will be asked for the aspirants of LT grade as well as lecturer grade. So this master syllabus has included both the syllabus and all the topics. So the next topic is English language and grammar. So this column deals with LT grade syllabus, this column deals with GIC lecturer syllabus, and in English language and grammar, these are the common topics. And this master syllabus includes everything which will be useful for the aspirants preparing for both LT grade and lecturer grade. Now the next portion of the syllabus for both the categories of the aspirants, be it LT grade or lecturer grade, literary forms and movements. So the common topics are these, like Renaissance, Reformation, Metaphysical, Romanticism, Pre-Raphaelites, Modernism, Postmodernism, Colonial, Post-colonial, Indian writing in English, literary forms, sonnet, ballad, elegy, mock epic, etc. And by combining both the syllabus, these topics fall in the category of master syllabus, which I'll be referring in form of a help from my side to all the aspirants. So you can see it has not taken much time, and this 2 pages PDF will be quite helpful for all the aspirants preparing for UPPSC LT grade and lecturer grade. So the next and last segment of the syllabus for preliminary examination as well as next examination is this authors and texts. So like other previous topics, authors and texts are available here. This column represents the common topics, common authors, and in my right side, these 2 columns are for authors and texts of both LT grade and lecturer grade. So the syllabus starts from Chaucer, to Richard Rich, 12 million black voices, and in Indian and post-colonial, among Indian and post-colonial authors, beginning from Rabindranath Tagore to Khushwant Singh's Train to Pakistan, based on partition literature of India. So out of this syllabus, today I am going to deal with a common topic, that is Renaissance. This topic, Renaissance, in the category of literary movements. So without any ado, let me move to the slides I have prepared, and I'm sure this is going to be quite helpful for all the aspirants preparing for both LT grade and lecturer grade. So here it is. Now talking about Renaissance in English literature, compact notes for competitive exams. Dear aspirants, Renaissance periods covers the historical, social and political developments between 1485 to 1660 in England. Now talking about the meaning of Renaissance. Renaissance is nothing but rebirth of learning. A rebirth of medieval and ancient learning in the field of art and humanism. It originated in Italy, 14th century, spread to England and all other European countries. Talking about some other contexts of Renaissance, printing press, Reformation, voyages, and Elizabethan patronage. This slide is very important. Now let us talk about the origin or inception of Renaissance. See, the seeds of Renaissance were shown at the fall of Constantinople when Ottoman Turks attacked Constantinople, means Byzantine Empire, in the year 1453, which led to the end of Byzantine Empire. And in 1453, Constantinople was the hub of education, hub of research scholars, philosophers, writers, thinkers, painters, scholars. So when Turks or Muhammad II, the Khalifa of Turkey, attacked Constantinople in the year 1453, then scholars who were staying there in Constantinople, to save their life, they fled to different parts of Europe, including Italy and other Western European countries. Wherever they went, they carry their research, manuscripts, and their learning with them. So the countries where they took shelter, in return to the care and patronage, they spread their knowledge. They light the lamp of learning and wisdom in those countries which were sleeping in the dark age. They were sleeping like a long dream of dark age, means they had no vision in their life. But after meeting with these migrants or refugees from Constantinople, they started thinking logically, and that became a kind of spark for rebirth of learning, rebirth of classical, Roman and medieval and ancient learning, which resulted in form of asking the questions to the authorities, asking the questions to the religious authorities, which brought a revolution. Now this map is very important for reference purpose. You can see this is Constantinople. It was attacked by the Khalifa of Turkey, and the scholars, scientists and thinkers who were staying at Constantinople, they fled to France, Italy, England, Polish Kingdom and other countries of Western Europe, and wherever they went, they lighted the lamp of knowledge, which caused a curiosity in the mind of the people sleeping in their life. They were doing nothing, there was no curiosity in there. These scholars caused them to think and do something in the field of science and technology, in the field of philosophy, in the field of theology, which resulted in form of rebirth of learning, which is known as Renaissance. Now, let us talk about impact on the Renaissance. So, with the historical background, we have understood that Renaissance inspired Greek and Latin classic, inspired the Western European citizens and people to learn Greek and Latin classical texts, which resulted in form of revival of Greek philosophy, science and arts. It boosted humanism and secular thought, and this helped Italy became the cradle of Renaissance, means center of Renaissance. Let us talk about some features of Renaissance in literature. The main theme or main focus of Renaissance is to keep human beings in the center. Neither religion, nor science or technology, nor stars or astronomy, because human beings were suffering in Middle Age. And because of rebirth of this learning, people realized the importance of dignity of human beings. But they started thinking about how to improve the condition of human beings. So humanism came to the center, which resulted in form of classical learning and man-centered thinking and discussion. Spirit of inquiry and scientific curiosity, that I told you. Rise of secularism alongside religion. Obviously, Christianity was there. Paganism was there. Still, people started raising questions to the authorities of church. And then that resulted in form of Reformation of Catholic Church, rise of Protestant Church, expansion of vocabulary and literary forms. When Latin and Greek literature spread all over the European countries, people started learning those manuscripts, texts, and obviously their vocabulary got enriched. And realism and artistic creativity also is one of the feature of Renaissance literature. Now let us focus on the very basic form of literature, that is poetry. So pioneers of poetry in England are Thomas Wyatt and Earl of Surrey. They introduced sonnet and blank verse. Sonnet was introduced by Thomas Wyatt, and Henry Howard, Earl of Surrey, introduced blank verse in English literature. The next great writer who added a lot to the collection of literature is Sir Philip Sidney, whose Astrophel and Stella is a memorable piece of literature. Edmund Spenser, who is known as poet's poet, is very clean. It is in form of allegory and it deals with the theme of nationalism. Now the next poet, dramatist and philosopher is William Shakespeare, whose 154 sonnets, some narrative poems, and many plays in form of comedy, tragedy, and tragicomedy we have. Now let us talk about the other important form of literature, how it started or from where it started in England. Obviously, we know the culture of drama in Europe and England, that is in form of mystery play, miracle play, morality play. But the actual drama started with arrival of university wits and the leader Christopher Marlowe. Christopher Marlowe is known as father of English drama, and his famous tragedy of Dr. Faustus, Tamerlane the Great, and his use of blank verse in his plays is remarkable. William Shakespeare, as I discussed, is famous for writing dramas. So his tragedies, his comedies, and his plays. history plays are very famous. Another contemporary of William Shakespeare is Jonson, Walpoling. Every man is in his humor, every man out of his humor. He introduced a new variety of comedy, comedy of manner, comedy of humor. So, the next is Thomas Kyd. Spanish tragedy is his famous tragedy. It is a revenge form of tragedy. William Shakespeare's Hamlet got an inspiration from Thomas Kyd's Spanish tragedy. Other playwrights or dramatists, some minor dramatists and university wits, as I discussed. John Lyly, Euphues, Prose Romance, Robert Greene, Friar Bacon and Friar Bungy, George Peele, The Arrangement of Paris, Thomas Lodge, Rosaline, which later became the source of William Shakespeare's famous comedy, As You Like It. Thomas Nash, Pierce, Penniless are notable plays. Now talking about prose. Sir Thomas More, who doesn't know about Utopia? It is a humanist political thought containing prose work, which gives an idea about a perfect state. Who doesn't know about Francis Bacon, whose aphoristic style and scientific spirit added the treasure of English literature with great essays in English, including of studies, of truth, of marriage and single life, of revenge, and on many topics. Very short essays full of great thoughts and experiences. Richard Hakluyt, his travel writings are famous. Roger Ascham, The Schoolmaster, which is a comment on education and humanism. Impact of Renaissance. So these are the impacts of Renaissance, like flourishing Elizabethan theatre. Obviously, there was a boom. Many theatres were open at the time of Queen Elizabeth, from 1658 to 1603. It is time span of Elizabethan age. Development of sonnet and blank verse. Growth of essays and prose literature. Rise of humanism, nationalism, secularism, shaping of human English, shaping of modern English language. All is because of Renaissance. This page is the mind map of Renaissance. It will help you out in understanding major terms and developments in the field of Renaissance. You can see Renaissance in English literature, talking about the background of Renaissance. See, during Renaissance, printing press was discovered by William Caxton. Now, look at the arrows, age of discovery. During Renaissance period, many ships and sailors started their journey, their voyage, and they discovered new lands, new ways to connect Europe from Asia. And famous among them is Columbus and Vasco da Gama. The Renaissance inspired Reformation. Renaissance also resulted in form of Elizabethan pastorals. Talking about poetry in Renaissance, so sonnet form was introduced by Thomas Wyatt. Blank verse was introduced by Earl of Surrey. Sir Philip Sidney is notable poet and sonneteer. Edmund Spenser is another great poet. He is known as the poet's poet. Talking about other poets, William Shakespeare is also one of the famous poets. He has written 154 sonnets. Talking about drama during Renaissance, so Ben Jonson, Christopher Marlowe, University Wits, Thomas Kyd. Talking about impact of Renaissance, so you can see standardization of English, global influence, humanist thought. Feature of Renaissance include individualism, scientific spirit, humanism, secularism. Prose writing during Renaissance, Thomas More, Francis Bacon, Robert Ascham, Hakluyt are some famous writers. So this mind map will help you out in recalling the details of Renaissance, which will be quite helpful for you during recalling the details for the purpose of brushing your knowledge when your examination is close. I suggest you to prepare a chart paper by using these details. So, as we have discussed Renaissance, now you have to cultivate a habit of doing some practice set based on each topic you complete every day. So, here are some practice set questions. Like the very first question is, the English Renaissance period is generally dated between 1485 to 1660. Is the option B is correct option. The term Renaissance means rebirth. Rebirth of what? Rebirth of learning. So option B is true for second question. For third question, the introduction of printing press in England in the year 1476 was William Caxton. You must remember. Question number 3, option A. Question number 4. Which monarch's reign is most associated with the Renaissance literature? Elizabeth I, who ascended on the throne of England in the year 1558 to 1603. Who introduced sonnet in English? Thomas Wyatt and Surrey. Next question is, the work Astrophel and Stella is written by, I discussed while presenting my ideas on our slide. Spenser, Edmund Spenser. Option A. Fairy Queen is an allegorical epic by whom? Edmund Spenser. Option A once again. Dramatist called father of English tragedy. It is Christopher Marlowe. Dr. Faustus is a play by whom? Christopher Marlowe. Who wrote Spanish tragedy? Thomas Kidd wrote Spanish tragedy. Question number 11. The Wall Pony was written by whom? Ben Jonson. Who among the following is not a university Wits? Robert Greene is a university Wits. Thomas Lodge, Robert Peele, John Milton is not a university Wits. So option D is correct option. Which prose work represents Renaissance humanism? So it's Utopia by Thomas More. Francis Bacon is known as father of English essay. Father of English poetry is Geoffrey Chaucer. Prince of English essay is Charles Lamb. Which writer is associated with euphemistic prose style? It's John Lyly. Question number 16. Which of the following is a prose romance that became the source of Shakespeare's As You Like It? Obviously, Rosalind. Which Renaissance poet is known for the aphoristic style in essay? Renaissance poet. It's Francis Bacon. The group of university Wits include Christopher Marlowe, Greene, Lyly, Nash, Lodge, Peele. Yes. Option B. Which Renaissance writer produced Principal Navigation, a collection of travel literature? It's Richard Hakluyt. And the last question is, the central intellectual spirit of Renaissance is humanism. So these are few questions. I'm not claiming that these questions are directly going to be in your preliminary examination, your prelims examination. But similar kind of question based on similar topics will be there in your examination. So like this, read each given topic thoroughly. Try to understand each term. Try to find out the people associated with that term. Try to find out its significance in a particular age, its impact, its future, its present, and then based on these aspects, try to frame questions on your own, or try to solve as many questions as you can collect from any source, from any book, from previous year questions. So the more practice you will do, the more confident you will become, and that is the key to success. So that's it for the day. See you in another video which will be useful for both lecturer English UPPSC Uttar Pradesh as well as LT grade English teachers under UPPSC Uttar Pradesh. Thank you so much. Take care. See you in the next video.